Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pizzapia. That, of course, is the Welsh with Puppet Joe, and it's you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, hanging out here, talking baseball, and a lot of injuries as well. Welsh, I don't know who is in charge of the MLB schedule, but these day games in 40-degree weather in Detroit, these April games in Colorado in early April, what are we doing here? Well, guys are hurt everywhere. I have no idea why Major League Baseball can't just say, let's open up in the West Coast or controlled environments as much as we can, try to limit all this stuff, at least till we get towards the end of April. I don't know what's wrong. It's very easy. Everybody plays everybody. It's not it makes my head hurt. I might explode before the show starts.
But what are you going to do? Like, what? I mean, like, what?
Everybody just said what to do.
No, but like, there's only so many West Coast teams. There's like 5 or 6. The whole MLB for the entire month.
No, but Texas is weather controlled most of the time this time of year. Look, there's plenty of places you can play. And I understand everybody wants to have their home opener. Okay, fine, whatever. That's great. Except for the fact that, this cold weather stuff is not meant for these guys in Major League Baseball. They're playing baseball in the 40s, and then they're going to other environments, and every single person right now is on the IL.
Yeah, and outside of the injuries too, that's going to be the big focus here. We just dodged maybe like one of the biggest injuries. I will say it is really important to kind of hit home the weather stuff and what can happen in like throughout April and obviously the late March in some of the effects of these guys, whether it's minor league guys kind of like underperforming, or take, for instance, just some of these players that are just not used to it or just being bogged down. Like I have a particular player I'm avoiding getting with you guys and being like, I am worried about Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet, I've watched all of his starts. He doesn't look great. Easton Lucas yesterday, someone asked in the chat, like, hey, what do you think of Easton Lucas? He looked pretty good. In the broadcast, they were like, man, it's really, really cold. It's the coldest it's ever been in Boston, and Crochet kind of can't get the grip, but Easton Lucas looks great. And maybe there's something to that. But like, you take the weather stuff in how Crochet has been battling these last couple matchups. Velo is down. He's not getting whiffs. His pitch mix is weird. He's not throwing the changeups. That could be weather related. And some of these early performances, before we make these huge decisions, like, man, I just don't like this guy or that, weather is going to have a definite effect. And I'm keeping that in my brain before I freak out and get all crazy about Garrett Crochet and some of these underperforming.
I'm just going to get all crazy.
I do think we could avoid like Colorado. And maybe like,
yes, we can avoid Colorado
right now.
We can avoid Detroit at 1:00 in the afternoon. I just don't understand what's going on here. Fisher King's got a question here. Dynasty trade Roman Anthony for Skubal. Ooh, now typically I like to have the position players, but I'll take Skubal in this one. This is zero chill for me.
I'm not like the biggest like pitcher acquisition in Dynasty, especially the high end, but absolutely no doubt I would rather have Tariq Skubal right now.
All right, so let's get into the headlines because we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And let's start with the Padres imploding. That's right, Fernando Tatis, weird swing. So he has shoulder discomfort. Remember, this is the shoulder that he's had surgeries on. So what could go wrong here? He says he's okay. Day to day for now, more to come. Mike Schill told reporters after the game that a 26-year-old outfielder tweaked his surgically repaired shoulder on a swing before re-aggravating it. So we'll see what's going on. He was sliding and then it got worse. So I don't like the sound of this at all. And on top of it, Cronenworth came out of that game too because he had some cramping issues. He couldn't even get to first base. And then Jackson Merrill goes to the IL with a hamstring strain. So Michael Calley, our producer, is freaking out because it was a bad night for the Padres, who have started off red hot.
He's about to drop J's all over the place. Like they've been leading off with, like, he's going to be in a panic mode. If you also lost Tatis after Merrill and Cronenworth getting hurt, it would have been really bad. The Merrill one kind of stings. The Tatis one, I think it's going to give you like a tiny bit of a pause. You do need to pay attention to it. If already this early in the season, he had a slight tweak to his surgically repaired shoulder, that's actually not a good sign at all for the rest of the year because he has just a fast swing. It's kind of like with Corbin Carroll. A lot of people assume that shoulder, or elbow, shoulder, whatever one, that he has such a fast swing and just such a big like turn back. There's so much momentum that it was affecting him all year. I kind of worry a little bit about that with Tatis. Definitely something to monitor. And to Mike Mayer, yes, Garrett Crochet was good in his last start, but 2 of the 3, if you watch them, have been less than what you expect out of this incredible. So that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, he had 8 innings. Oriole was amazing and da-da-da. But, like, 2 of the 3, some of the stuff doesn't look quite as good, but keeping in weather in some of those effects is keeping me a little bit sane. But maybe I'm just overreacting.
I'm trying to remember last year, because I remember Crochet. Maybe I'm misremembering. It's very possible, but I seem like April last year was not good for him either. And it wasn't. I'm looking at it right now. I finally found it here. A 5.97 ERA in April for Garrett Crochet. So Garrett Crochet, no likey the cold. He was pitching
maybe like
last year.
Slow start, but then on top
slow
of
start
it,
guy, whatever it is. But I'm looking at it right now. The whip was okay. The strikeouts were there, 47 strikeouts, but the ERA was 5.97. It was not great, obviously. Yeah. He gave up 7 home runs in that month too. That's more than he gave up in any other month by a lot.
Yeah, that's good. That's good info to throw in there. And I didn't mean to turn it back to it.
There.
Yeah. I just wanted to respond to
you did, because you still want to talk about Garrett.
I do. I kind of, it's like in my system, but I will.
Come on.
And Mayer's, thank you for the current ERA. What is Mayer's problem today?
I woke up this morning. Like, I was working on the show at 6 a.m, and then I see a message from Mayor trolling me about my picks for.
You got trolled. There's another one in there too. You got trolled a little bit more. What I would like to know in the chat is anybody at all worried long-term for the season on Fernando Tatis Jr. with him tweaking it? He dodged a bullet. We're great. He's having an insane season, but is there any new worry now that he's tweaked that and having the entire season in front of you? Is that giving you pause, or maybe even I could see people wanting to come off of him? I'm not sure if I am quite yet, but this has definitely sparked something in me. Like Mike just said, yes, worried. Let us know, YouTube in the comments or live on the comments here on Twitch.
Surgically repaired shoulder. Yeah, I'm always worried. And I watched it. It didn't look great. Like, no, you could tell he was in pain. So we'll see. Big strikeouts. That was also a headline from yesterday. We had Cole Ragans look fantastic. 11 strikeouts for him. Clay Holmes, 10 strikeouts against the Marlins. Now, the Mets pitchers have really just eaten up the Marlins. The Marlins young manager, too, is terrible. Like, he is the Mets broadcast, if anybody's been watching, is just crushing this Marlins new manager. He is a rookie manager. He is setting up guys in weird positions. He seems all out of whack with where to defend people, when he should have the infield in, when they should be in double play depth. The whole thing seems like a hot mess right now. So although the Mets pitching staff looks terrific, they have played the Marlins a lot. I know they played the Jays too. That's a good lineup. They played the Astros too. That's fine. But let's not get too crazy with how great this Mets pitching staff, but a nice bounce back performance for Clay Holmes. Some good wood yesterday from James Wood. 3 for 5, 2 homers. So huge day for James Wood. That's got to make those people in the James Wood investment space very happy, Welsh.
Oh, me. Yeah, 100%. You know, it's really funny. I was doing like a little live stream on my my little In This League Twitch, and I was talking about James Wood and that, like, I love everything about it. And there's still people that are really worried, rightfully so, because there's some stuff, but you know, the average was low. This game alone put him over 275, 24% barrel, 64% hard hit rate, huge max EV. He's walking. And also, weirdly enough, this is the weirdest split so far, short sample size. He's hitting 412 against lefties, 174 against righties. I wonder if that's going to change. And it's only going to make things better. You're not going to hit 400 against lefties, but you're also not going to hit sub 200 against righties as a left-handed hitter. I just really like James Wood. Always have. You're seeing the big output of what he can possibly do. And his ability, even though he does strike out, to hit lefties, if it calms down a little bit, he's showing elite skill set. And it was, I think it's going to be a big payoff of acquiring and investing into James Wood early in the year.
All right, Zac Veen made his debut, 1 for 4. It was a bunt single, so good on Zac Veen.
I would have bet. I think it should have been minus money that his first hit was going to be something ridiculous, like a bunt. Like, I would have bet that. I totally see it.
All right, there were some pitching duds too. I was invested in the under, and by the third inning, that got blown up. Chris Sale got beat around, 5 runs, 4 2/3. So not a good start for him again. Braves continue to look weird. Zach Wheeler also struggled. So there you go. He was terrible. 5 runs on 8 hits and 5 1/3 innings of work. So much for the under in that game. So much for all the fantastic starting pitchers that were on the slate yesterday. We'll get the Skenes performance later in the show because he stunk it up too. So there you go. Not too much movement there in the National League Cy Young race because everybody basically stunk yesterday. But When you've got all these injuries and the things we're talking about here, you need something like My Playbook to keep you up to date with all the player news for your specific teams, right? It's going to recommend players to you, recommend decisions for your lineup. And of course, the best thing is you've got multiple leagues. You can set all your lineups from one spot on My Playbook. So go to fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook today. Download the Fantasy Baseball My Playbook app too. That's easier. That's the way to do it. That way you can get custom fantasy baseball news, rankings, and analysis for your teams and dominate your competition. Welsh, we are pushing subs every single week here. We're going to do some fun stuff here because the subs are coming in fast and furious. Let's shout out some newbies here joining us on twitch.tv/FantasyPros live today and every day, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern.
Well, a little slow today. Radial Pepper, most recent on the follow. So shout out to Radial. But as you mentioned, our goal is definitely get to that 100 sub mark. You guys can do that with Amazon Prime, and our views our followers are closing in on 700. So I would say if we could get to I think the month goal should be, let's call it 1,000 followers and 125 subs. I think if we get there, that would rock. But shout out to all the new people. And if you guys do the follows or the subs, we will give you those shout outs. There you go.
You could tell Welsh was never in sales. Even if it's a slow sales day, you say, oh, I got so many. But I think this one, I'm going to single out this guy because I like his screen name, whatever it is. See, I spent time in sales. I hated it. I was good at it.
I'm not trying to sell you. I'm trying to nerd out. Let me talk about barrel rates and hard hit percentages. Right. That's what I'm selling you on.
Yeah. All right, fine. Let's talk about some guys down on the farm because there are some players still crushing life. And I know it feels like we talk about these guys all the time. Well, because every day they do something else awesome. So Jack Caglione, if you haven't seen this one, a 111 exit velo home run, 468 feet. It's on the front page of MILB this morning. When I woke up, I went over there to take a look at it. Boom, it was right there. Massive home run from Caglione. So I don't know how much longer they're going to keep him down there. Nick Kurtz, again. I know it's every day. We got this Nick Kurtz meter, 2 for 5, 3-run homer for AAA Las Vegas, and Tyler Soderstrom was removed yesterday with right calf tightness. So Welsh, you think there's an opening here?
If he goes on the IL, without question, they got to bring him up, unless they're not trying to start some clock or whatever. I can't do anything more. It's just a rinse and repeat conversation. We should cut it and we can just play it through again. It's like this. Nick Kurtz is the best AAA hitter right now. He can't play anything but first. Put Rooker in the outfield or Soderstrom in the outfield, make room. How else? I don't know. Only other thing is an injury. I would assume if Soderstrom, it doesn't look like this is going to be something serious, but if he were to hit the IL, Nick Kurtz, immediate pickup. And he's the type of guy too, that no matter what he does, if he is dominant, I don't think no matter what happens after the fact, they would send him back down. If he comes up and he hits 300, he just hits a bomb or two, they're going to figure something out. But Nick Kurtz, the reason we keep talking about him, because he's going to be up soon. And I think, by the way, I think he's up before Cags. I've said that before. I think Cags is more of a mid-year guy regardless. Cags is in AA. Nick Kurtz is in AAA though.
Solar's got a question here, and it's funny because I just did this in our shallow league. Are we dropping Casas for Torque? Yes, and I did on Monday, because I've had it. So I'm riding the wave in this shallow league. I'm willing to make that move. So yes, I already did it. And here's another one. BD with Francisco Alvarez close. Do you like him or Kyber Ruiz rest of season? Alvarez 1,000 times. 1,000 times. Agreed. Not even close. So those are 2 easy moves you can make. Also, potentially some openings too for this young man. Zebby Matthews struck out 9, allowed 2 runs, 5 innings on Tuesday, and a start at AAA. So Zebby Matthews, another one too, that's kind of scratching at the big league level. And Pablo Lopez had a little bit of a hamstring issue last night. So keep an eye on that situation. Do you think Zebby would be that first call up? Because if so, I can see us on the waiver wire video tomorrow talking about stashing Zebby Matthews sooner than later.
Yeah, I think so. I think early in the year was a little question. Would it be David Festa or Zebby? Zebby, he's a big command. I mean, he's just like these other guys. What are Pablo and Joe Ryan? What do they do? They don't walk guys. They'll have some good strikeout. And they're that's who Zebby is. And he can go deeper into games. So I do think Zebby would be that guy.
All right. Also, Bubba Chandler, 8 Ks for him and 4 shutout innings on Tuesday. So nice to see him having a good start. Let's talk about more things that are exciting. Oh, Wicks, go ahead. Well,
I just wanted to say, sure. I said this about Bubba Chandler, and it literally hit. 52 pitches in his first start. I said they said, cap, and they're going to build him up. I said next start is going to go to 60. This start, 60 pitches. So next start will go probably to 70. And that means after the next start, he could come up, or it'll be one after. I personally think they'll go 70 and then 75. So I think at least 2 more starts before he's viable to be called up if you are stashing Bubba Chandler, but they're running it right out.
Some Kurtz questions. So let's get to these. Beezy Weezy, or B Weezy, excuse me. Veen or Kurtz? Who would you rather have?
I mean, if Kurtz was up, I would want him over Veen, like without question. I know you're asking Veen right now. I'm not that enamored with Veen, but if you're chasing stolen bases, then sure.
Yeah. I'm Team Kurtz on this one. Positive Grouch with a question is just funny. I think it's just a troll. Are you saying Hertz or Kurtz? I need some help with this Pam situation.
Pan? You're saying Pan?
That's stupid. That's a stupid name.
You sound like an idiot.
Yeah. You sound like an idiot. Ozuna for Kurtz in a dynasty league. You ready to pull that trigger on that one? Ozuna could be at the end of his tail here a little bit. He's still having a good season. I'm sure he's gonna be good this year, but in dynasty, man, I think I want Kurtz.
Yeah, without like, especially if you're not competing at all, like that's a no-brainer. Ozuna's like 36. Kurtz is gonna has 15 years probably in front of him. So no doubt, it's a little tougher if you're like a heavy competitive win now team to trade a guy that probably has like top 50 bat upside for a guy like Kurtz that we really just don't know and is blocked. But I probably still trying to make that regardless.
Fabi Davis Jr. Are we dropping Vientos? No.
If you're dropping Casas in a small 10-man league, I think you can drop Vientos in that same one.
Who are you dropping them for? I mean, at first base, you have Rice, you have Torkelson, you have all those guys.
Maybe there's not a third baseman out there.
The third base, but that's the problem. At third base, I don't think you're doing that move. I just don't.
It just depends.
Should be worried about Santander or hold on. I'm holding on. It's, new space, big contract, yada, yada. I don't have any concerns about that. And do we care about Noelvi Marte getting called up too because McLean goes in the IL?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Noelvi strikeouts are low. He's stealing a bunch of bases. He had no homers, but he had 6 doubles in AAA so far. He has all the tools in the world, but I'm still worried about his pitch recognition and his ability to hit major league pitching. But guess what? He's still super young. You're going through that transitional period, deeper leagues. I think he's worth testing the investment. Do I want to drop Vientos for Noelvi? I don't know. Maybe again in like a small league, but I'm looking at Noelvi in a little bit deeper. I do think he's worth the risk right now just to see, because they're not going to bring him up just for a live body.
And Christian Encarnacion Strand has struggled too. So there, if he continues to perform poorly and Marte hits right away, maybe there's a reshuffling there of things with the Reds. Who
I'm not pounding the table to pick up Noelvi.
But I think it's more of a watch for me. No. Bob Noxious, do not drop Luis Robert in a 12-team head. He had 2 steals yesterday. What are we doing? It's the 9th of April. I am salty today. All right, let's do 3 up and 3 down. Framber Valdez, 6 shutout innings, 8 Ks against the Mariners. Framber is a hell of a good pitcher. He just doesn't get enough credit. I love Framber Valdez. Freddy Peralta got his first W of 2025. That's good news. 3 hits, 5 innings of work, 1 run, and he hit your K prop yesterday.
No, he sure didn't.
Oh, no. I got to
tell you,
short. That's right.
Yeah. Well,
I was right about that one, but you had Ragans also yesterday, so you went over on that one.
No, I also. Who are you betting? I wish I talked about Ragans. I didn't bet it.
That's what it was. You talked about Ragans, but you didn't bet it. And I was concerned about Freddy Peralta in Colorado going more than 5 innings. Well, and that's what undid him.
So listen, I went 1 and 2 on my bets on the show yesterday, but sometimes you just move past it because the process is good. Just real quick, Garrett Crochet, I had outs getting to 6 innings. He went 5 2/3, got a ground out, Bregman, error. Next play, Christian Campbell, error. He doesn't get it. Put my hands up. Freddy Peralta had 6 strikeouts through 4, doesn't get it through 5, comes back, after 5, 83 pitches in the 5th inning or going into the 6th, they pull him. So they pulled 6 strikeouts and 83 pitches.
And that was my fear.
My process was fine and it was there, but we didn't hit it.
Yeah, you got to put weather in the process with some of these bets. And actually, some of my bets today are very heavy on some of the injuries that have happened. So I'm trying to take advantage of situations. So did Kyle Schwarber yesterday. He went 3 for 3 with a homer, a triple, 3 ribbies. A big day for him against the Atlanta Braves. The Downs, Dylan Cease, another top pitcher. 9 times in 4 innings. Not good. Lost to the A's on Tuesday. Kyle Freeland, no surprise there. 5 runs on 8 hits and 6 1/3. And Paul Skenes, a career high 5 runs. So it looks like Paul Skenes is not invincible after all, Welsh.
Nobody is invincible. No one is superhuman, even though Paul Skenes does have a little Clark Kent Superman in him. Still got a bunch of whiffs in this one. It was kind of a weird setup early on. I was on the Nerfy. This was the bet
my
that
Paul Skenes mustache, by the way.
We did cash. Yeah, it's very good. But you have to just like scowl all the time. Like nothing's ever like you have the best life on the planet. It's like Livy Dunn and you're the best pitcher, but like everything is kind of miserable. Fastball splitter. Splitter didn't get a ton of whiffs yesterday, only 30%. It was biting out of the zone a little bit. He went kind of heavy sweeper, sinker went away. It's just kind of a weird start. Down, velo is down a tiny bit. I think there's some cold factor in there. I don't read, really anything into it. It's just one of those like rare bad starts for Paul Skenes. But Paul Skenes' bad starts don't usually look like Dylan Cease's starts where you're getting obliterated. And just to point out, I saw someone say this. I don't think it was in the chat today, but someone was like, I'm going to start treating that A's stadium like Colorado. And to be fair, with how the ball's flying, I'm sitting here thinking, it ain't even summer yet. It ain't even 105 when that ball is going to really start flying out. So we're going to have to see what the summer looks like when you get to that Sacramento stadium. But ball is flying out even further. So fly ball pitchers got to be a little bit careful.
That's why I was so excited about Rooker and Butler and all these guys. So the show's been great. Blade had a good day yesterday, too, which he needed to because he had been terrible. So nice breakout day for Blade. We'll see how he continues to hit. Let's get to the injuries because there is a ton. This just happened before the show. Justin Steele, 15-day IL, left elbow tendonitis. That is officially what it is. That's not good. So that's a huge blow to the Cubs rotation there. Matt McClain, we mentioned before. It was looking like maybe we would get him back there today. No, he just goes on the IL. But it's retroactive to the April 5th. It's a hamstring strain. They don't think it's serious, so they're hoping to get him back sooner than later. Wyatt Langford had a side issue again, undergoes an MRI today. We'll let you know tomorrow, whatever the results of that are. Hopefully we'll have that in. But he, if memory serves, had a bit of an oblique issue in the spring. Did he not, Wyatt Langford? I want to say he did.
I think it was something like that. He was held back for a little bit. He missed a decent amount of springtime. This one is really not good. I got him in our Fantasy Pros full company league, and I'm like, oh no, we don't have IL spots. Like I don't want him to go down for too long because I'm gonna miss something. And you know what's weird too? He was playing decently well. So many of those Rangers are underperforming. It's crazy. We got our trade video out where we talked about 2 Rangers, not even talking about like Adolis Garcia's underlying profile is insane without results. So many guys are underperforming. Wyatt kind of wasn't, and now he's hurt. Boom.
And now he's hurt. Also hurt Pablo Lopez, who was removed Tuesday from the game against the Royals with a right hamstring tightness. You could see it definitely tightened up on him, was not good. I'm sure we'll get more news on this in the days to come. I would be shocked if he didn't miss a start. I'd be even more shocked if he didn't go on the IL because it's April and you might as well just let these guys figure it out. Bring up the Festas or the Matthews, whoever you're going to have fill in that spot. And it would not also surprise me if Festa was the first guy to get the call anyway, just because he made a bunch of starts last year. Maybe they leave Zebby alone, but I still want to stash Zebby because I think it's only a matter of time. That was a very good performance from him yesterday. Also, Tobias Myers made a minor league rehab start yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on him. He's returning, working his way
Brewers need it so bad.
So bad.
Nobody needs it more than the Brewers. Yeah. I know. It's crazy.
It's just bad. Blake Snell has been cleared to resume throwing on Monday. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And Zach Eflin diagnosed with a right lat strain that's going to require a trip to the 15-day IL. And Welsh, we know these lat strains, these are long-term injuries. This is a bad situation here for the Orioles.
This is not good. I mean, I got to tell you, for a pitcher, it starts with elbow, but oblique is kind of like number 2. You see that and you're like, here we go. Lat, definitely not great. I don't like this for Eflin whatsoever. Also to throw out, there was a little bit of an update. Ketel Marte, who went for an MRI, Torey Lovullo said they are definitely in the weeks standpoint, and he's probably going to take a week or 2 to kind of recoup, and then he's going to have to play in some games. So Ketel Marte looking closer to, I think, a May return than anything else. Not a light, little easy injury or anything like that when he went for his MRI. Oh, and also Victor Robles, we got official news on Victor Robles yesterday that he had a fracture from a dislocated shoulder. 3 months he's going to be out, and it would be 6 weeks if he does not require. So here's the thing. If he doesn't require surgery at some point in this, 6 weeks of nothing, then it's going to be a 6-week ramp up where he's going to be at complex and minor league. So 3 months for Victor Robles. Unfortunately, If you don't want to IL it or you don't have it, you can cut bait. Put him on the IL if possible. But I mean, 3 months, man, it's barely any production. It's an L for me. I'm a big Victor Robles guy, but fracture in that dislocated shoulder is nasty.
Ouch. Painful. Also painful, again, this Eflin injury to this rotation for the Baltimore Orioles, which brings us to this week's Chasing Challenges segment, brought to you by Microsoft. Just like the athletes who push boundaries and redefine what's possible, business decision makers today are turning challenges into opportunities, and Microsoft meets you where you are with tools and guidance to help you make an impact with safe, secure AI solutions. So whatever challenge you're facing, Microsoft empowers you with the expertise to say, bring it on. And in this segment, we spotlight the challenges faced by the Orioles pitching staff, because guess what? It's ugly right now. You let Corbin Burnes walk. You could have thrown more money at him to stay. You have all these prospects like Kobe Mayo that you got no room for the in at. And all of a sudden, you could have dealt somebody like them in the offseason and maybe bring you a Garrett Crochet. You didn't do that. What were you thinking, Orioles? Because this is a problem. You were putting all your hopes and dreams on Grayson Rodriguez, who is a bright, young pitching prospect, but not a guy that's gone out there and thrown 200 innings. You're trying to compete with the Yankees. You're trying to compete with the Red Sox, who are spending a ton of money this offseason. You're trying to compete with the Blue Jays, who look much, much improved year over year. Come on, Orioles. I might just be taking one here and taking up the salvo for Ryan Wormley. I can't imagine how upset the worm is today about his Orioles. Looking at Zach Eflin being the ace of your rotation and somehow having dreams of being back in the playoffs. You were a playoff team last year. You crapped the bed in the offseason. You didn't bring enough starting pitching help in here. You brought in Charlie Morton, who's as old as me. Bad job, Baltimore Orioles. And now you're stuck because Eflin's going to be out for months, not weeks. And now what is this rotation going to be? And you could see the Orioles fall out of things very quickly if they don't do something fast. So hopefully, maybe they can turn some of these prospects into some pitching help immediately. And that's this week's Chasing Challenges segment. Remember, Microsoft AI solutions are kinder than me and empower you to take bold steps and new ideas to help drive your business forward. With Microsoft as your trusted partner, you can navigate your journey with confidence, finding innovative solutions and reaching new possibilities. Visit Microsoft.com/challengers to learn more. All right. Was I too tough on the Orioles just there? I don't think I was.
No, I mean, we got the report yesterday that they only offered Corbin Burnes. I mean, you hate him, but 4-year, I think 160 million.
I was just fading him, and so far
they just really
6.
They weren't. I guess from a year-to-year perspective, they kind of were, but they weren't as competitive as it was made out to be. So yeah, I completely agree. And back to what I've been saying for the last month or so, Marlins, you're on the clock with Sandy Alcantara. Put him out there. There are teams. The Yankees need, Orioles need it more than ever. These guys have prospects. Kobe Mayo has got to be the number one trade chip. The Orioles should be calling around to teams that would be trading some controllable starting pitchers and seeing, can we get this done? But we'll see if
the Mets will control the market, though, because they have a prospect haul that they can back up now that I think beats everybody in terms of mix. In terms of mix of position players and pitchers, they had some really good spring performances from some of these pitchers that are coming up.
If they wanted to trade like Sprott, and if you did like, let's say, I don't know, just Sprott,
if it was Sprott and Mauricio and something else for Alcantara, I think that's better package than just Mayo.
Well, no, I think that we have a trade more than Mayo. They've got some pitching prospects out there. Like they could go Cade Povich and Kobe Mayo. I think the Orioles can be competitive with it. But
rocked around, man. Cade Povich so far is, I don't know, man. I ain't there yet. Let's
these teams are going to do anything. Yeah, let's
make some money today. So if you're trying to make money, go to FantasyPros.com/leading off. New customers bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you get 200 in bonus bets only on FanDuel. So go sign up today, FantasyPros.com/leading off. And Welsh, that brings us to our best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. So for me, I'm looking at Shohei Ohtani. That's right. We're back in the Ohtani business because it's over 0.5 on the ribbies. That's pretty easy on plus money, plus 125. Give me the Cubs today. Why? Because the Cubs are taking on the Rangers, and the Rangers can't hit water if they fell out of a boat right now. Simeon struggling. Burger looks like mincemeat. See what I did there? It's a metaphor.
You just fired them up, though. Say it again, Joe. Say that they can't hit anything.
You can't hit. Rangers, you can't hit. And you know what? Wyatt Langford not in the lineup today either. So, again, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take all this rage that I have and turn it into dollars. And I think that this Cubs lineup right now, they've been hitting all year. Tucker's been great. Imanaga has been solid. So I'm looking at Imanaga today against a weakened Rangers lineup. I love this. Plus 140, minus 1.5 here on the run line. That's what I like. I think the Cubs win this one easily. Rangers are struggling to get any offense. Lastly, I'm also taking advantage of the Padres because I don't anticipate Tatis or Cronenworth being in the lineup. And I know that Jackson Merrill's not going to be in the lineup. And Machado just did his first home run of the year yesterday. So the A's just straight up on the money line, minus 108. You got two slapnut pitchers pitching against each other today. It's nothing exciting. So I just see no reason why the A's can't pull this one out, because I think the Padres are going to struggle with whatever lineup they throw out there. So I'm taking advantage of the Rangers' weakness, the Padres' weakness, trying to make some money off of it. Yes, I'm a mean person, but that's okay. Welsh, maybe you're kinder and gentler with your bets than I am.
Oh, no. I mean, we're angry off of yesterday. Like I said, process was 3-0 yesterday. Sometimes the process is also a piece of garbage. Not yesterday. I was in the right place, but we only went, I actually ended in the positive though. I'm going to kill it today now with this, but 5-day hot streak on Betting Pros because I had two other bets that I added throughout the day. You would know about them and could see them if you were on Betting Pros and followed me at, believe it's the Welsh or just Welsh. You can follow Joe and I and everybody else. But today we are tackling Kansas City, Minnesota, no run first inning. We're going back to a little bit of nerfy action. I'm in for this one. Joe Ryan and Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo has been a little dicey at the start, but it's really good money based on two really solid pitchers. Offensively, as far as runs scored, these two are both a little bit higher, top 15. It's like one's 12 and I think one is 8 in runs scored through the first inning. But I don't think, specifically Minnesota, I don't think the offenses are powerful enough that it shies me away. And I think that's pretty good number. So Kansas City, Minnesota, nerfy. Then I'm going Atlanta, Philly, first 5 over 4.5 runs. So through the first 5 innings, I'm betting over 4.5 runs. Walker was good in that last start. I do not think that is going to carry over. Grant Holmes is not good. I think that will carry over. So I like there to be some runs scored in this bad boy. A little bit juicy at minus 130, but Atlanta, Philly over first 5 runs and Kansas City, Minnesota, nerfy. I may add a few more. So make sure you're following me on Betting Pros if you want to see.
Yes, mine are already logged. These are my 3 that I'm sticking with today. Poll results are in. Are you worried about Tatis? 40% yes, 30% no, 30% kinda. So there you go.
Oh,
Thanks,
we had
America.
kinda. So okay, kinda, maybe.
Way to go, America. Also, we've got a question here. Would you drop Berger for a stash of Kurtz? And Berger is not a starter for him. I think yes.
I'm not. In a little preview to the trade video, I personally put Jake Berger in there. He has it's the lowest or the second lowest BABIP in all of baseball right now, while a lot of his underlying stats are carrying over. Good barrel, hard hit rate. It's just really, really bad luck that's going on right now. Is it going to turn in a huge way? I don't know, but it's a better hitter-friendly environment for a guy that can hit 30. In a short league, I guess if you're not starting him, you could do that, but like you would pray that Nick Kurtz can do what Jake Berger has done the last 2 seasons. So I think Berger's going to bounce back soon. Maybe today.
Lard from the chat here. Again, if you've got questions, drop them in. We'll try to get to a couple more. And if you've got a lot more questions, well, join us on the YouTube channel today, 4 p.m. Eastern live, because we have the live stream coming up. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure you ring the bell so that goes ding. Don't miss it. 4 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. It's all about you. Leading off is about us and you. Wednesdays, afternoons
also
on YouTube, just about you. Go ahead.
Also, not just on the YouTube. You can have more in about an hour and a half as we're doing this live. What is it? 2 p.m. Eastern. Yep. On the Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. Joe Rico and myself will be live in the Discord. Your guys' opportunity to come in. You can ask questions. You can be on the podcast. You can just type it, or you can literally talk with us. Joe and I talking fantasy baseball with you. fantasypros.com/chat every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Be a part of the show and be a part of all the other goodness. So we got lots of extras for you on Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wednesday's a great day to get your questions answered. Lard says you keep saying about the Orioles this offseason, right? About trading for pitchers for the Pirates. Yes, I still say it. I mean, they're a match made in heaven, these two organizations. One desperately needs offense, and the other desperately needs pitching.
What are the Pirates going to trade?
The problem is Jared Jones got hurt, and you're not going to trade Bubba Chandler. What's the other? Oh my God, what's the other guy who just came up and got obliterated?
Thomas Harrington. They're not going to trade Thomas Harrington either, though. They're not going to trade any of those.
You told me that Harrington to the Orioles for Kobe Mayo doesn't make sense for everybody.
No, actually, I do think it makes sense, but they absolutely love Thomas Harrington. They feel that they've got like a potential.
Fine, but do you absolutely love Cabrian Hayes? at this stage? Like, do you absolutely love the rest of this offense that sucks? And it's not a lot of help coming through this organization.
I think from like a fantasy
Johnson,
perspective, we look at this and we're like, this just makes sense one-on-one. But like good, controllable, young pitching that can be high-end as an ace, like those are almost untradeable regardless of what you can get out of it. So I think it makes sense. The only player I think they would trade is Mitch Keller. And Mitch Keller would just be like a number 3 or 4.
Let me tell you something. Maybe not for Kobe Mayo, but Mitch Keller helps. Mitch Keller is better than almost anything they've got.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
And that is sad. It's misery. It's not exciting. What is exciting is the home run board. Let's get to it. Let's see where things are. Again, I was not good. I had to TC, got hurt. Rays are still at the top with 9. The Welsh at 5. Look, they moved you up, but not really up because you're still.
That's okay. I mean, Callie's new to this.
Wonky Penguin and the Fisher King, one of my favorite films.
It should be Wonky and then me. That's technically how it always is. The hosts go at the higher area, so we can look and feel super great about ourselves.
All these years doing this show, it's always Joe's the heel, Joe's the tough guy. Look at you. Look at you. The host should be on top. I thought Welsh was the man of the people.
Well, they should. I am a man of the people. The people want to see Welsh succeed. And by the way, Wonky does have 6, so somehow she lost one.
Well, we have to. Well, she's in charge of it all at the end of the day, isn't she? So, and if you want to get your home run calls made, subscribe. Use your Amazon Prime account. It'll give you access to our home run channel on Discord. 9 home runs is not a lot to make up.
No,
we've seen this contest go crazy. People go on enormous runs. We've seen people get 3 in a day sometimes. All you got to do is join, and that Sammy Sosa jersey can be yours. Again, our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. To me, for the home run call today, back to basic. Shohei Ohtani, plus 260 against the Nats. Let's go. Where are you going, Welsh, for your home run call?
I'm going to pick on my own Brandon Pfaadt. Pfaadt has looked just okay this year. He has one massive problem always. Home runs. It is always home runs. Specifically, lefties. Who do the Baltimore Orioles have as a lefty that I absolutely love and had probably a fourth of my homers with last year? Gunnar freaking Henderson. Gunnar Henderson, your leadoff spot. Give me Gunnar Henderson against Brandon Pfaadt, a match made in lefty heaven. And if you want to bet it over on FanDuel, it's actually 4.5 to 1. Gunner's had kind of a slow start on his return. I think he might get going here. I was actually tempted to take the over in this game. Creamer versus Brandon Pfaadt. Pfaadt can put out some really great outings. I'm just not sure this is it. He struggles against lefties. There's crazy lefties in there, gives up homers, and I think Gunnar gets us going. So that's where I'm going to push up that home run board.
Last question here from M. Silv. Sell high on Lodolo. No, he had another good start yesterday. Look, the Reds lineup might not be scoring runs, but Lodolo is a pitcher I was high on years ago. I think he's healthy finally. I think you should be buying him in other spots because people might not realize just, where this could go trajectory-wise. But again, we're out of time, so go join us on the YouTube later today. Fantasy Pros MLB. Subscribe to the YouTube. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's see if we can do it. Join us there for more fantasy baseball Q&A, 4 o'clock Eastern. Don't miss it. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
Bye-bye.
Orioles, Charlie Morton, Sagano. What the hell are they doing?
Charlie Morton.
We made the playoffs after being irrelevant for years and years. We could make it again with these guys. Crazy.
The 5 finger say to the face, Charlie. Slap.
Ugh, what are they doing?